Part 1. The Cradle of Persia, Land of Mountains and Deserts. Far to the east of Mesopotamia, beyond the rivers of Babylon and the valleys of the Tigris and Euphrates, there stretched a land of extremes. Persia, a realm of burning deserts, towering mountains, and endless plateaus. To the west lay the Zagros, sharp ridges crowned with snow. To the south, the desert opened into the waters of the Persian Gulf. It was a land both harsh and fertile, where survival demanded strength, and strength gave birth to empires. Nomadic tribes roamed the steppes, farmers tended oases, and caravans traced paths that would one day form the Silk Roads. Here, among fire and stone, the first Persians took shape, heirs of the Indo-Iranian peoples who carried with them ancient gods, chants, and dreams of destiny. Part 2. The Prophet Zoroaster, Fire, Truth, and the Eternal Struggle. In this land of contrasts, a prophet arose. His name was Zarathustra, or Zoroaster. He spoke of a single great god, Ahura Mazda, Lord of Wisdom, who embodied truth, light, and order. Opposing him was Angramainu, the spirit of destruction, who spread lies, chaos, and shadow. The world, Zoroaster taught, was a battleground between these two forces. Men and women were not helpless before fate. They had a choice: to speak truth, to act with righteousness, to care for fire, water, and earth was to stand with light. To lie, to harm, to desecrate the sacred world was to side with darkness. At the heart of this faith burned eternal fire, tended in temples, flames that never died. These sacred fires symbolized the purity of Ahura Mazda, a beacon against shadow. Zoroastrianism was more than religion. It became the soul of Persia. From the king to the farmer, from warriors to priests, all were called to fight in the eternal struggle for order against chaos, light against dark. Part 3. The Achaemenid Rise, Cyrus the Great, and the Birth of Empire. From scattered tribes rose a man destined to shape the world. Cyrus II, known to history as Cyrus the Great. In the mid-6th century BCE, he united the Persian tribes and rose against the Median overlords. With cunning, bravery, and vision, he carved a new power where none had stood before. Cyrus swept across the lands, conquering the Medes, the Lydians, and finally Babylon itself. Yet he was no mere conqueror. Where other rulers crushed their foes, Cyrus showed mercy. He freed the Jews exiled in Babylon, restored temples, respected the gods of every land. He called himself not only King of Persia, but King of Kings, ruler of peoples united under tolerance and law. His legacy was enshrined in what we call the Cyrus Cylinder, often called the world's first declaration of human rights. There, his words promised respect for the traditions and freedoms of his subjects. Cyrus died on campaign, but his vision endured. His descendants inherited not only his empire, but his example, a vision of rule by both strength and justice.
Part 4. Kings of Kings, Darius, Xerxes, and the Persian World. After Cyrus, the empire expanded further under Darius I, a master organizer. He built the arteries of empire, the royal road stretching from Susa to Sardis, where mounted couriers could carry messages in mere days. He minted coins of gold, the darics, that tied trade together from Egypt to India. Darius called himself Shahanshah, King of Kings, and he ruled an empire vast beyond imagining. Its heart was Persepolis, a city of terraces and palaces with columns rising like forests of stone. Reliefs carved upon its walls showed envoys from every corner of the empire bringing tribute. Ethiopians with ivory, Indians with gold, Scythians with horses. But with greatness came challenge. In the west lay Greece, small, divided city-states, yet proud and defiant. Darius sent his armies across the Aegean, only to be checked at Marathon. His son Xerxes would return with even greater force. Xerxes raised a vast host, said by storytellers to be millions strong. Bridges of boats spanned the Hellespont, fleets shadowed the coast. At Thermopylae, a small band of Spartans and allies held the pass with fearless defiance. Though Xerxes burned Athens, his navy fell at Salamis, and in time the Greeks pushed Persia back. The empire endured, vast and splendid, but the wars with Greece marked a turning point, a challenge that echoed through centuries. Part 5. The Clash of Civilizations, Persia and the Greek World. For the Greeks, the wars were tales of freedom against tyranny. For the Persians, they were but one chapter in an empire that stretched to horizons unseen. Yet the clash shaped both worlds. Persia remained wealthy, diverse, a mosaic of peoples. Egyptians, Babylonians, Indians, Jews, and Greeks themselves, all subjects of the King of Kings. Zoroastrian fire temples burned across the land, while Persian art, gardens, and palaces flourished. But in the West, the Greeks dreamed larger. The victories at Marathon, Salamis, and Plataea gave them pride and myth. The Persian wars became a story retold for generations, of defiance, of gods favoring the small against the mighty. And in this pride was born ambition. The city-states, though divided, looked east with restless eyes. In time, one man would seize that vision and turn it into destiny. Part 6. The Fall of Persia, Alexander the Great and the End of an Empire. In the 4th century BCE, from the north came a storm. Alexander of Macedon, young, brilliant, and insatiable, set forth to conquer the Persian world. With a small but disciplined army, he crossed into Asia and struck at the heart of empire. At Issus, his phalanx shattered the Persian lines. At Gaugamela, he faced the vast army of Darius III. The plain shook with chariots and cavalry, but Alexander's tactics broke the Persians once more. Darius fled, his empire unraveling before him. At last, Alexander entered Persepolis, the jewel of Persia. For months he ruled in its palaces, until one night, in drunken revelry or deliberate symbol, he set the city ablaze. Flames devoured halls where kings once held court. Columns blackened against the sky. The heart of the empire was ash. Darius died on the run, betrayed by his own men. The Achaemenid dynasty ended, and with it the first great Persian empire. Yet Persia did not vanish. Its culture, its religion, its art endured, shaping the Parthians, the Sassanids, and through them the very world of Islam. Even Alexander, though conqueror, bowed to Persian ways, adopting dress, ceremony, and dreams of empire. Persia was more than its kings. It was an idea, a vision of rule that blended strength with tolerance, earth with fire, humanity with the divine. From Zoroaster's flames to Cyrus's mercy, from Persepolis' columns to Alexander's conquest, Persia lived as a bridge between worlds, eternal, luminous, unforgotten.